All right, guys, today is the 16th of December, 2025. Crazy Global Market Talk with KEL. Crazy anytime, anywhere. All right, today is a very important day. Today is the non-farm payroll day. Yes, because of the shutdown of the US government for 43 days, the longest ever. And because of that, this basically now the non-farm payroll numbers will come out tonight. Okay, I'll talk about that shortly. But before that, disclaimer apply as usual. Now, so for non-farm payroll day, usually the market will go sideways. Yeah. So if the market is slow today, try not to trade. If market is slow today, you can trade small. Remember that. Yeah. All right. So let's go to some fundamental first for today. So first of all, today you can see there's a non-farm payroll, all right, for November data, which last month. Interestingly, there's no forecast. Remember, no forecast. Why? There's no data to rely on. So based on the previous, it was 119,000. All right. So that is the number they can get nearest to that. Now, retail sale is expected to be flat. All right, 0.2%, same. Core retail sales also same. And of course, unemployment data is also 4.4. So basically, everybody just lying low because no one will have a data for that. Yeah. Okay. Then, of course, whether do we have this S&P Global Manufacturing PMI? It's a preliminary release because of the data also, right? So this timing is Singapore timing, GMT +8. So it's about 8:30 in Vietnam and Cambodia. Okay, so you can see that this is non-farm payroll. Very clearly, the non-farm payroll have been sliding since 2022 after the COVID release. And of course, at the moment now, we are actually at a very low end. And there's periodically those negative and positive numbers. So we kind of feel that somehow the numbers are being massaged. Yeah, you can see the numbers are not really like normal, either sliding down or sideways, but you have sort of periodic, sporadic up down in the market. Very interesting. All right, so for the US government, we know that the shutdown is finally over, okay, after 43 days. And more than 1.4 million people were affected, all right, by this. And they went without pay for weeks and suspended food to many low-income Americans and thousands of flights for airline passengers because no one working, right? So they cannot work. They cannot work means they can travel in a way. So this is really crazy. And of course, this shutdown, it was due to a new funding bill whereby 222 people voted for it while 209 voted against it. Interestingly, 6 Democrats joined the Republican to vote the yes. That's why the vote swing. Because, I mean, think about this. If the Democrats and Republicans stick to their own numbers, then there will be no go, that will not go through, right? So that's the reason why someone have to take the different position. Okay, and as usual, Donald Trump says that, okay, it's a great day, blah, blah, blah. But do note, the full is a shutdown that is unlocked right now, but then it will take days, if not weeks, to fully reopen some of the government and some of the vital programs, yeah? So it's not immediately the market goes into action. Okay, so the other thing to talk about is the stock market. Let's bring it in. Now, last night, S&P 500 closes slightly lower as AI plays weight on the market. In short, basically, the AI stock was being taking profit yesterday. Traders are just taking out profit because they made quite a bit of money. And of course, there's some very concerning factor is Oracle. Now, Oracle, the this CDS against it itself, which is the insurance against it, is really trading at a very high level. Seemingly, traders believe that Oracle will get into some serious cash trouble. So that is whereby Larry Ellison, although he's a very rich man, one of the top 5, if not the top 5 billionaire, yet his company is actually at a very brim of a bit of cash flow issue. Yeah, very interesting. And of course, you can also see that the market now all waiting for the next move on AI. Everybody bets that the AI market will continue to move. And of course, we do note that we have the non-farm payroll coming up. And of course, this guy for CNBC, they say that they look about 50,000, which is really a number off the air. I think there's no way to actually get this number. Yeah. Okay, now Tesla basically continue to trade higher because Elon Musk confirms that the driverless robot taxi is on the way. All right. So apparently this is the long-awaited one whereby they go in to a car and you get to sit in a car without a driver. Now, of course, if this happened, they'll put a lot of drivers out of job, right? Including Grab and Google and Grab and Uber. So good or bad? Well, for you to decide. For a company like Tesla, yeah, it's good because without that, I mean that is good, right? But of course, I can tell you very normal. You know, even human being has accident. All right, you get into accident once in a while. So without a driver, I mean, I am going to say this up front, it still will have accident, right? It's just a matter of time. So, but then when that happens, you will see there will be a lot of you know, people coming in and tell you the bad side of this Tesla, blah blah blah. But again, after a while later, you'll rebound because, you know, end of the day, if everybody believes that AI is going to be in our life next 5-10 years, then driverless vehicle is definitely the next thing to happen. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's why Tesla shares is doing very well recently. Now, Tesla share it went down to the low of 380, but these few days it walked all the way up, and now we are just a little bit away from the all-time high, and that basically put Elon Musk in a very driving seat of the richest man. It could hit a $500 billion mark in the time to come. Now, one thing to note, the Bank of America, Savita Subramaniam, says that the S&P 500 will rise to 7,100 in 2026. And in fact, this number is one of the lowest. So of course I can't do it because on CNBC, you know, pay for it. So I got to get the on-site. Haha, I got it. So apparently it's not right. He believed that the S&P 500 will go to 7,100, and that is only a 4% from today's value. But because he is not very comfortable with the current situation. But the rest of the S&P 500 experts are all looking at 7,700. Wow. Right, 7,700. And in fact, the other expert from Oppenheimer, they expect the S&P to hit 8,100. Wow. Tom Lee actually also sees 7,700. Okay. In fact, he expects the S&P to close at 7,300 by this month. So where are we right now for S&P 500? Let's take a look. S&P 500 right now, is trading at about 6,800. So are we looking at another 500-point rally, according to Tom Lee, who is now in the driving seat because he has been pretty bullish and of course pretty accurate, right? You put it this way. Okay, so let's talk about the S&P 500 shortly. But now let's look at the Dow Jones chart for the conventional one here. Now you can see from the conventional chart, you can see that it's quite regularly seen in this pattern whereby the market hit high and then it come and touch the moving average, right? Seemingly every time the market find is based at the moving average. So with that as an understanding, I kind of believe that the next pullback will be around here, and that gives me about 600 or 500 series. Where are we right now? We're at 48,400 level. So because of that, I think that we should see a bit of pullback. But once the Dow Jones do pull back to that moving average, right? But that's a 30-day moving average weighted, the market should rebound. Yeah, the market should rebound. So traders do watch out for this. I think that there will be a bit of pullback in the market in the near term. Yeah. So take note of this for the Dow Jones. Then, of course, once you reach there, it'll be a good idea to buy. Yes, I believe that there will be a Christmas rally. Yeah, I think so too. So a pullback will be good. And then after that, we have a Christmas rally. Okay. All right. The next thing to watch out is S&P 500. Let's take a look. The one that we talk about from all the experts. Oh, yeah. I'm moving. Okay. Now this is the S&P 500, and a bit different. S&P 500 is very, very near to the moving average, and it does have the similar pattern like what you said earlier. Whenever it goes down, it will touch the moving average, and then it may bounce up. So would this be a bounce? Well, look at it, right? With the Dow Jones not yet moving to the moving average, while the S&P already near the moving average, I think there'll be a higher chance for the S&P 500 to drop first. So I think that if we are now at this 6,800 series, I think the S&P may need to fall a little bit to 6,700. Yeah, somewhere like this, another bit of movement downwards. Then the market will find a base before we get to see the potential year-end rally. Okay, so this is how I see it for the S&P 500. Pull back first, then find a base at about 6,700. Okay, if it finds a base there, and then after that it will go up. Yeah, so this is my personal take on the S&P 500. So let's take a look and see whether would I be correct by the end of the day for the S&P. Hold on. Right, just give me a short moment. I have a sudden missed call here. Okay. All right, now the one that I'm very concerned is the NASDAQ. Now look at NASDAQ. This is a NASDAQ since 2024, whereby you have a very powerful run in the NASDAQ. And then we have a very double top here. And the market broke below the moving average and it broke the trend line and the NASDAQ just collapsed all the way down, right? That was what happened during the early part of the 2025 during the March to May period. Okay, so the time itself, the NASDAQ actually fell from 22,000 all the way down to almost 16,000 plus. Okay, that was a real drop. Yeah, very crazy drop there. Okay, so now everybody, let's look again on the major trend. Again, we have a very major trend on the NASDAQ. And I don't think it will break, at least in the near term. I don't think so. All right, so let's just watch this carefully. If we look at the chart right now, for the NASDAQ, it has already broken the moving average, which is a bit different from the Dow Jones and S&P. So I believe that based on what I can foresee on the Dow, which should come down, the NASDAQ should be forced down too. So I believe that there will be very strong support at 24,500. Okay, where are we right now? We are at 24,067. So which means that there should be another 500 points drop on the NASDAQ. Now, once we go there, I think it'll be a good time to buy over there. Okay. Now, why would it go? Because you can see that doing a very simple projection tile, if the NASDAQ is to fall to 24,500, the Williams indicator will also reach the bottom. And we do see that the NASDAQ has a very interesting reaction with the Williams indicator. So I cannot deny that if the trend is still uptrend, then this will work beautifully. So traders, if you want to buy some NASDAQ, then look out for 24,500 series, somewhere around there. Then you look to buy. I think that will give you a very good idea for Christmas this year itself. All right, if all clear, press number 1 right now, yeah? Meaning that you understand, you know what to do, and stuff like that. Getting this gold futures, why is futures? Okay, take this away. We go to our own banner. Yeah, hold on. My screen need to change back to my indicator. Taking some time. I realized that whenever I have Zoom, it's gonna take some time for my computer to switch over to my MT4. Yeah, okay, here we go. All right, so today for gold traders today, now what a waste last night. Yeah, again, the gold yesterday climbed all the way to 43.50 and then it fell. Oh gosh, I was waiting for that take my profit at 43.55 and yet it fell. Like, oh gosh, okay. So there is a very strong resistance at 43.50. That is very clear right now. So when you have a strong resistance like this, okay, I usually take the other side of the game. Now, yesterday, the closing was about 43.04, right? So the closing here is 43.04. Okay. The day closing of the previous day was about, just to make sure I get the number correct, 42.99. Okay. So here the closing was 42.99. So they're all pretty same number. So let's say take the between or the both of them between. So we take about 43.02. Okay, somewhere there. So now everybody take a look here. The difference between 43.02 and 43.50, which is a fair middle number, is about $48. All right, $40. So I am going to do a very bold statement here. Is that if gold break 43.50 and stay above 43.50, we're going to see gold going all the way, because it's going to be all-time high, right? 43. Can I change my color? If gold is going to go up, gold should be able to see 40. Okay, this not color, not nice. Sorry, a bit to the colors. 43.98. Yes, correct. Okay, so basically means that I am putting myself on a chopping board to tell you that if gold can stay above 43.50, a psychological figure, because every $50 is a psychological level for gold. If gold can stabilize at 43.50, okay, gold can go all the way to 43.98. But on a flip note, okay, if gold touches 43.55 again, and pull back, then gold will go into a very big sell-off. So take note of that, yeah? I repeat myself, 43.55 will be a very strong resistance for gold. If you can close above it and stay above it on the closing price, then 43.98 will be the target for gold. But on the same note, that if gold hit 43.55 and really cannot stay up, then the selling will be very bad. So traders, please take note what I just said about what I mentioned about gold, 43.55, and where gold can potentially go. All these, take note, take a picture of this if you need to, and remember to do that. Now, the other thing that everybody asks is that how come KEL, why is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doji already? Now, normally we do not see there's so many doji, right? I mean, give you an example. Like last month, we have 1 doji here. All right. 2 doji, 3 doji, 4 doji, and 5. Usually, there's only about 3 to 5 doji in a month. 3 to 5 doji in a month. And now we're not even, we just crossed to the start of the middle of the month, we already see 5 doji. All right, so which means that mathematically, okay, there should be a very big movement today. There will be a big movement today. It's either all the way up to the sky or all the way down to the ground, because this is a best equation whereby you have a doji today, which is very clear. And a doji means a doji directional day, means today it could be a directional day. Number 2, we have 5 dojis already in the market. And that means usually the next 15 days or 14 days, the market will be, taking a position. Now, of course, a lot of people say that because of the double doji here, all right, they feel that the gold will go down. But the question is this: if the gold is to go down, what's the reason for that? There must be a reason for gold to go down. And based on what we're going to have, it's going to have a rate cut. It's kind of difficult to expect to have a, to think that gold will go down. All right, and you're going to have a Christmas rally. That means that the Federal Reserve had to pump a lot of money. So the only thing that I can think of that gold will go down is that because the stock market comes down, there's some panic in the market, some margin calls, and blah blah blah, and that's why gold will come down. But if you ask me, fundamentally, there's no other reason to go down. Okay. All right. So that is gold, and of course, I know you want to talk about silver. I'm going to bring silver in the picture today. I know that silver caught some of your eye, some of you guys. We talked about silver a long time ago, and I said that silver is a buy when it was at $20, and I really kicked myself for not buying silver back then a lot more. Yeah. Okay, so silver now, as you can see, is at $63.70. And silver today got no pivot. Yeah. Today silver got no pivot. Yeah. For those in Cambodia, take note of this. Right. Today there's no pivot for silver, which means that the market will take the OP in the strife of it. So if the market stays above OP, it'll be an upside all the way. If market stays below OP, then there'll be some selling. Silver, I got no projection for you. I told you before, if gold can go up to 5,200 series, then of course silver should be about $75. Yeah, that's what I said yesterday. Okay, last one is the US market on the Dow Jones. Okay, having some slowdown. Okay. Okay, now the Dow Jones this morning, there is some selling this morning. Not too sure what happened. Probably it's a Asia market. Okay, the market for today, the Dow Jones is at 48,443. The MLP is 48,558, and the market missed the MLP just by a little bit and then came off. Right, the question is this: can we sell Dow Jones? Of course, below OP can sell Dow Jones, but do note the KSI is green, KCX is black. So the market will be buying from the bottom. So KTR -1, -2, -3. Watch out for those turning points. Now, one thing to note, there is a pivot 2 at 48,191. I think today the Dow will touch there, yeah? Because the KCB is not too far away. The KCB is at 48,118 level. So I think today the Dow Jones should be able to touch this number, 48,000. Okay, 48,118. I think the Dow should be able to touch this figure versus today's price right now. We're about 200 points away. That's really nothing much. So there will be a pullback. And also today it's a doji directional day again. All right, interesting. So we have that. Now it's a 4 diamond over here. So you put a line across it, you can see that there's a support. And that's why on this day, even though the Dow pulled back initially, after that, he rocketed all the way to the sky, right? Because of the diamond line that's available there, okay? So traders, all these numbers, all these targets are given to you this morning through our market talk. I hope that you guys will make some money of this, yeah? Okay, there's a request to do Bitcoin. Sure, no problem. Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, I already say I'm very bearish when it was at 91,000. I said that many times. And when it was at 88,000, I repeated yesterday during my session, I said Bitcoin, very high chance will see 86,000. Now, it's not a number that I plucked from the air, but if you look at the chart, it will tell you the whole thing. So let me bring the chart right now and let you see the Bitcoin. Okay, just hang on a little bit. Again, my screen is hanging. Okay, here we go. Now, let me explain to you why I was so bearish. First of all, I told you guys why I see the value of KSI. Because look at it. The market for Bitcoin was at 86,000 and it went up to 94,000, about 93,000. So when it went up, right? Okay, here is 86, yeah. When it was 86,000, it went up for 4 days. Look at my KSI. Oh my God, look at it. My KSI is all the way red. The big boys were selling. The big boys were selling. And you don't have such indicator in the world. No indicator in the world will tell you the big boys is selling while the price is going up. You don't have that. You may have some indicator telling you that they look at the volume on the big boys selling, blah, 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 but definitely not for this, for Bitcoin or all the instrument that I have. So when I saw this, I tell myself, just wait my turn, yeah? And when the market goes below OP, that's it. We just have to sell. No need to think. The question you ask, okay, if that's the case, if the boys make me buy here, for the retailer, they buy here, where would they put their stop loss? Naturally, they'll put here, right? This is why the market sell off yesterday, because the retailer, all of them put their stop loss at this point. Now, usually if the market is bullish, after it trigger a stop loss, normally it will rebound, right? Because that is how the objective is. Trick the traders to go in, then they sell down the stop loss and then rebound. But this time around, they didn't. They continue to sell. So I know that the next figure they'll go is for the KCB, which is the yellow candle here. And that's where the the Bitcoin really came down to 86,000 because that's how the number is. But again, after that, it still stayed down. Oh my God. So which means that the market is probably going for this. All right, there's no more KCB available. So the nearest stop loss point where people will put a stop loss, where the boys will likely go, will be somewhere around here. And hold on a minute, I'm trying to get my number in. My screen is a bit stuck here again, as usual. Oh gosh, okay. That's it for a while. So based on the number, it's about 84,000, yeah? I mean, okay, the number is here, 83,800. Okay, so everyone take note. 83,000. 800. So which means that if there's going to be any more selling in the Bitcoin can travel down to 83,800. Where are we right now? 86,000. Now, would that cause some stress to the Bitcoin players? Of course it is. But again, guys, you've seen before, when Bitcoin was crashing down, our KSI turns green 3 days before the bottom. And after that, Bitcoin rocketed. So again and again, if you know how to use my KSI properly, you will know how to make money from the market. Okay? So it's pretty simple, guys. Try it on your own, backtest, and you will see the result, yeah? So Bitcoin traders, do take note. I'm expecting the Bitcoin to travel down below to 83,800 if the selling continue today. Okay? So with that, we come to the end of today's session. I hope you enjoy it. Tomorrow, we may not have a session because I have something on in the morning. So guys, thank you very much. See you then in your different group. Bye-bye.